everybody, this is Retrokid Reviews doing basically the biggest figures review I've ever done. And yes, figures in general, like a entire multi-pack wave that I actually got. For those who've already seen videos of this, I highly recommend Fuchsia's and basically the entire Into the Spider-Verse wave. I'm just going to do a broad strokes on this part right here to basically discuss pretty much the wave in general. Starting off at the top, I legitimately love this Peter B. Parker. He's not bad. Wow, he is not the right camera friend that I needed to be. Anyway, great figure, decent head sculpts. Same for Miles also. In Miles' case, I'm probably gonna leave him in his actual spider mask because Pete's didn't really come with a full mask. It came with like him like about to pull it up kind of thing. So yeah, camera is sadly going to dry in a minute, mainly because this is my first time with the camera in months. So I'm going to recharge the camera and also cut to basically building the actual Stilt-Man of this wave, and generally be a review of him and the wave as a general. I will say pretty much what everyone has been reviewing when it comes to this wave, that Frogman is the secret goat of like the entire wave. Like, he is basically sculpt wise, I kid you not, kind of my size. I'm about like over 290s, kind of vibe. You can kind of feel it with this figure, very Doc Ock-ish, like resculpting wise. There's going to be some certain angles. So with that all said, let's get to the build of Stilt-Man, and what I'm going to be called my new bipod for the channel. Fingers crossed. So that all being said, let's get it done. Alright, let's dance. Anyway, yeah, I'm prototyping something here for the retro review for Mortal Kombat. Hopefully, Card 2 if the full video is already out. Now, that being said, this guy is huge. But let's start off with most of the wave. Gwen over here is actually not bad, but again, her body sculpt is not really doing much. There is a bit of a swivel on the top of the figure, but I know it has double jointed knees, single jointed elbows, so that's really not that surprising. I technically need it for many reasons. One, I'm used to having my Street Fair or vinyl figure for the years. Like I said with Peter B. Parker, he is basically me energy if I was Spider character in general. In Gwen's case, she does come with Spider Ham, which actually has a ball joint in that head. I'll probably demonstrate it probably in future videos. Miles is pretty much a great average looking spider figure when it comes to his. I know Miles had a couple of different variants. I think the Venomized him I just saw in my local comic shop as of this recording today. Other than that, it's good. The same thing I'm going to be probably do for both Gwen and Miles' head sculpts is switch them out to their masked hub sculpts, because I'm going to use them for future content when it comes to Spider news. So, also, this is usually the part where I start showing my traditional Build-A-Figure, or how extremely tall it is. Like, this is zoomed out here, as I think this is zoomed out, it is to my entire I guess stage office setup for the whole like how I just present normal figure reviews. Wow, it's been a while when I did this. Anyway, yeah, even zooming out in frame, I still can't get the head in. I have to pick it up just a bit. I have to like teeter it just like this to get the full frame of like basically how gigantic Stilt-Man is. Starting off on the top, his head sculpt is basically where it kind of makes or breaks. It was the hardest to get in. Everything else was fine. Surprisingly, the arm snapped in just fine. Same for the legs. The briefcase is actually not bad. It actually has money. Go to Fuchsia's video because I really don't have time to talk about that. The gun hand, I thought for the longest time, I know my camera quality is pretty crap, but trust me when I say that I thought for a while it looked kind of like maybe a Nerf gun that Hasbro usually does for most of their Marvel Legends figures. They modeled it after like a just really finished Nerf gun. I thought this had like Fire Strike vibes, but nah, it's just like usual space gun they probably have. For the wave in general, it's awesome. I'm just gonna round out most of the bad guy characters here. Yeah, the hand soldier is actually really not bad for building your own like little army. To do Instagram shots here with any Daredevil. This is my armored 90s Daredevil that I got, I think prior when I was discussing the electric news, also card to that. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna mainly do for Frogman. He is clearly a jobber, and if you saw my preview on the shorts, he's technically a regular when it comes to being, I guess, a B Squad team. Tony hires in the new Iron Man run that Scarlet Spider is also a part of. Also, the reason why nobody's talking, I'm not doing my usual acting with the figures, is that I'm kind of prepping all this for Instagram shots for later in the week. Hopefully, we saw that. Obviously, follow down below to my Insta for most of the pics I'm going to try to do with this. Also, yeah, I definitely put Scarlet Spire up here, seeing you could do like a quick high jump Berserker Barrage kind of maneuver. And I think my plan here is to get Superior Spider-Man grappling him, kind of like a arm bar kind of vibe, or maybe like a chin lock, if anything. I'm gonna try to do like a bit of a wrestling move there. The only weak link out of this whole wave is very few. I'm gonna be honest. Everyone has some of their limitations. What I've just recently discovered when it comes to the Prowler, this is definitely Into the Spider-Verse Prowler. The cape is great. It's very PVC-ish, which is actually not bad. It's kind of a soft plastic PVC, so that's not bad. The problem is that the cape is kind of popping out. It does have a peg, just like Stilt-Man's backpack jetpack thingamajig. Hopefully I can replicate what I was doing. I might do it if I have to do it in frame of him hopefully going like whoop, 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 whoop. No, I can't. I'm sorry. Basically, anyone who has had this figure so far has pretty much put him in like silly positions of him just basically running from the cops and stuff. It's kind of funny, more or less. So I think. Ooh, another thing I noticed is that surprisingly the toes. Yeah, those things right here where my pinky's at. Yeah, those are toe joints. It's technically there, and it technically helps with the stand you get with, I think, individually, the arms came from, if I remember correctly, uh, hang on, came from Frogman and Prowler. The body came from Gwen, and I think the head sculpt and the neck came with Pete and I think Miles. I know he has alternate hands. I think with the Prowler release, or I think Frogman's as well. I don't know which one. I think they both had the alternate hands to swap out the grips for fisted hands. I'm gonna keep it as is with a non-fisted route, because that's pretty much what I want to do with this figure. And as I stated earlier, that I wanted to make this my new bipod for just shooting regular vlogs and stuff when news breaks out. Didn't work. I might have to do something with the ab crunch or something along those lines to like grip it a little better. Other than that, it's not bad on the stand. Without the stand, you could kind of see some slippage coming down the road. Other than that, yeah, this is the wave. It's genuinely fun, especially Frogman's, because when I'm like holding like the figure, it feels just a little bit thicker than like a usual figure. Like say like Ben here, like he's got like the reasonable proportions you normally see with a Spider figure before the retro wave animated Spider-Man came out last year. I might. I don't know if I should buy it for simplicity's sake. Like the only big difference that has game changed those Spider designs is basically the butterfly joint. My apologies for just the whole stage in general, my whole setup just basically being a mess than usual, is because this is the first time I've had the opportunity to basically get the whole Build-A-Figure wave in general in just any Marvel Legends collection. So, mess aside, I'm gonna do my ratings. I haven't really had much time with the hand figure, but average-wise, I'm going to put him at a 7 out of 10. The only downside is that the only reason why people are basically picking him up is to make army waves for him to go up against any street-level hero aside from Daredevil. Hopefully, if Marvel Legends does, like, Daredevil, Elektra, costume like they're doing currently in the Chip Zdarsky run, I might pick it up. It might be fun to play with. I think they have like some sort of restriction on only buying 2 packs instead of like getting them individually or something like that. I don't know the exact specifics of how you're trying to make a traditional army wave, just for like again for the gram, but I don't know after that. like I said with Prowler, the good news with him, he doesn't come with any not articulation, any hand options or alternate head sculpts, which sucks because I kind of would mind an Aaron Davis alternate head sculpt to go along with Miles' alternate head sculpt, demasked and all. But with that being said, again, same thing is pretty average. 7.5 out of 10. If it was individually and you're getting it as your own to pair off of like previous Miles releases over the last couple of years, it's not that bad. Totally. Double jointed knees are just fine. Ankle pivots are ankle pivots. They're still just fine as well. 9 out of 10 for the Frogman. Just right out of the gate. Just want to get the score out of the way because everything else is genuinely funny. Playing with him with up against like Scarlet Spider or even Kane. If you saw my gram, as of this recording, by the time that might have got out. Other than that, I don't really know. I know Gwen is face planted as you hear, so let me just set her up real quick. For a female body mold that they usually do for Marvel Legends, I'm gonna say it's still pretty average. I still, like anyone in the consensus who's been buying these figures, still wouldn't mind double jointed elbows for them, maybe an ab crunch because I honestly think they're well overdue to do that for this kind of body mold for the last couple of years. So again, just a normal 7. Pete's getting an 8.5 out of 10 because he is a really good attempt at basically being what the Into the Spider-Verse like mold is as far as the sculpt goes. Is not bad. Miles is getting about the same 8.5. The only reason being is that again I haven't really tested out everything when it comes to all of these figures, so those will be my average ratings for now until I probably change it on probably on my social media to explain basically how each process was switching head sculpts and hand articulations. I mean hand options. For the build of Wave itself, my first rodeo, getting everyone, including Stilt-Man. For Stilt-Man, it's a 10 out of 10 because you're getting a lot of silly factor. It's really fun. It's genuinely entertaining. The only like knock I could get against it is again head articulation because again it's very limited. Like you could barely point him in any direction. I can try to do that on camera, but it probably won't turn out the same. So with that all being said, I highly recommend the Wave if you got the time and money to get all this. Personally, I just feel like you guys should go to like either Darkside Toys or Big Bad Toy Stores to get a reduced version of what you're probably going to try to shelve out on Amazon because the last 3 figures alone costed like over, I want to say $100. So the whole wave in general at this point could be pushing either 110 or 120 $120. So again, I highly recommend trying to get it on sale on like Big Bad Toy Store or just any third-party site instead of just direct from Amazon. Though 9 times out of 10, most of the wave here I got were from mom and pop shots. More in particular, Miles and Frogman I got from Target and a local comic shop. So there is a chance you can get them individually. It'll probably be less expensive than getting the wave in bulk. But overall, it's pretty damn good stuff. So with that all being said, I'm going to cut to me just to show you exactly how tall he really is versus me holding like one of these figures normally to close out the video. And that all being said, let's get to that and my wrap-ups. So yeah, like I said, as far as like the closest thing to I guess size comparison is my head versus Stilt-Man's. I think the last person I think that measured this was he's about a 12-inch, so kind of what an average, I want to say, 12-inch NECA release would be on certain figures. And I know Marvel Legends does a 12-inch line eventually. I think some of them not much. I don't know which figure off the top of my head, so my apologies not getting a card there to basically be a reference for that. Last thing I want to do, and I think this is the closest to puppeteering I could kind of do without showing my hand. I'm sorry, this is genuinely fun. So yeah, as far as articulation goes, same thing with everything else. He has double jointed elbows. He's got a really decent ab crunch despite the size, and I'm sorry, I just love the idea of him just running around like, oh, I'm gonna go to work, gonna rob a bank. Oh crap, the spiders are here. Battery's about to try, so that all being said, yeah, this is still worth it for just Stilt-Man alone. My apologies that I thought this would actually work as a way to replace my usual ways of filming vlogs, but I guess that's not going to happen anytime soon. And cards finally coming up to my previous video, which was probably getting around to finally reviewing Mortal Kombat retro review-wise. Those are still going to be mobile vlogs, mainly because, again, due to time, and mainly because I want to catch up now before The movie comes out now officially on the 23rd, later this month. I know they got delayed a week, but I need to use that opportunity while I can. Final hand here to my previous video, which is probably Jason losing his mind about the new Batman Long Halloween trailer review and his story details so far when it comes to that. I'm happy that Jensen Ackles is going to be Batman. It's kind of full circle given how far he's become and bringing Jason into the forefront mainstream-wise, aside from previous stories in the past. Stalling for time, that all being said, I'm Retrokid Reviews. What did you think of the Build-A-Figure wave? All crappy shots and all as far as my review in general for the wave. It is instant 10 out of 10. This is definitely going to be on a lot of people's radar when it comes to end of the year breakdowns for these kinds of like toy releases. I highly recommend, if you have the means, to buy the wave. Stilt-Man is kind of worth the price of admission because he's a genuinely silly figure and totally worth your time and attention. If you need him as a bipod, I don't recommend it. Definitely stick to your usual Amazon purchase tripods and stuff like that. I am not a camera channel recommending like shots and stuff. What you saw is what you get with most of my content. And believe me, the GOAT out of all of this is ironically Frogman, because he is genuinely a fun, like I said, a genuinely fun comic 616 character you never thought would work, but works. My apologies to most of the Into the Spider-Verse characters I messed up with, remembering their like identities and stuff. Wiki down below for the movie and probably their comics in general. So, with more time than I thought I was going to get, take care, subscribe, shirt here obviously to sub to the channel, notification bell down below for when any of these figures show up on my channel proper when discussing Marvel news, or in this case Spider news with the Nick Spencer run so far, and so on and so forth. And I did pick up Silk. It's actually a good, decent new run. I'll probably also leave a link down below to whoever's doing the current reviews for it. That all being said, take care. I'm Retrokid Reviews, and I'm sorry, this is a genuinely fun figure. Again, if you have the means, this is still worth it. And this guy's so tall. Why is he so tall, Moral Legends? What did you do? Seriously.